Brighton 1, Chelsea 3. A good win on the opening day of the Premier League season for us in a game where last season you could see Chelsea dropping points. Despite the toxic social media with people criticising players already after one game and 4 days training, we're going to try and be a little bit realistic with this as we go through it. It's early in the morning. Without further ado, let's get cracking. So the big bugbear for most of us last season, well, there was a number of them, wasn't there? There was the fact we were conceding too many goals. There was the fact that we weren't creating enough chances and not scoring enough goals. And then there was the fact that we were playing games and where we dominated for parts and where we sort of then would drop off. We dropped points in games. Think Sheffield United, beginning of last season at Stamford Bridge. 2-0 up, we end up drawing 2-2. Games that we lost, ridiculous games that we lost, Newcastle away, and just games in general where we dropped points. And last night, Chelsea probably played about 60-70% of their level. As Frank Lampard said, they'd only been together as a collective unit with the new signings for 4 days. Thiago Silva only joined the squad this past weekend. The ridiculous Nations League campaign was players were away. You have to take it into consideration. We've got players that are out injured. Christian Pulisic, Cesar Azpilicueta, Mateo Kovacic was suspended. You could argue those three would start. Hakim Ziyech, you could argue he'd start the game. Thiago Silva, you could argue that he'd start the game. So Frank Lampard went to Brighton last night, put a team together and a good 4-2-3-1 formation with exciting players and players that were creative to get the 3 points and win the game, obviously. And we did that. So what more can you ask for? Well, if you read social media and some of the comments about Ruben Loftus-Cheek, about other players, it's ridiculous really, because you can't really judge the Chelsea team until you're a couple of months into the season. Frank Lampard has got plenty of options available to him. We all know that. He's made impressive signings and they need time to click and to gel. You're probably not going to look until around January time until things really settle down and players have got used to the Premier League. So look at the game last night, as I'm saying. We're 1-0 up with a penalty. Great press, high press that forces an error. Jorginho, first time ball to Timo Werner. Lightning quick. His movement off the ball is outstanding, by the way. Lightning quick, flicks past the goalkeeper, wins the penalty, Jorginho scores. We go in half-time 1-0. Now, you're always going to expect a reaction in the Premier League to a team that's gone behind. And I keep saying it, and I've said it time and time again, you have to earn the right to win any point against any team in the Premier League. You can't just turn up and expect to roll teams over. You need to battle. You need to match their desire and determination first and foremost, and then hope that your quality comes through at the end. Brighton come out second half were good. Created us numerous problems. They had some half chances. They put us on the back foot and they got an equaliser. Now, Kepa's been slated. Yes, he should have done much better with a goal. The fact that it's from left to right comes across him. He gets his bearing slightly wrong and the ball goes underneath his arm. And he's then being slated and absolutely hammered on social media. Frank Lampard has come out after the game and said he's very happy with him. He backed him. He showed confidence. And he did. For the rest of the game, he showed confidence. He was claiming the ball well, holding the ball well. He parried a save in the first half, which was strong. So we're just a bit shaky from corners, but that's everyone. That's not just the goalkeeper. So we're 1-1. Now, as I said, last year, these are the games where we drop points. But we didn't. Within 2 minutes, we get the ball on the left-hand side. It comes across to Reece James, who's moved inside into the middle of midfield as we're in their final third. Gets the ball and strikes an absolute well-beater from 25 yards. Top corner, almost into the stanchion. Goalkeeper, no goalkeeper would save that. And we're instantly 2-1 up. We got a reaction we didn't have last year, straight away. And then we get a third through Kurt Zuma. Corner comes over. Zuma just sort of half volleys the ball on the stretch. And unfortunately for Webster at Brighton, it comes off his leg and goes in, sending the goalkeeper in the opposite direction with the deflection. And we win the game 3-1. There is plenty of positives we can take from the game. Yes, there's negatives. Negatives would be, obviously, Kepa needs to do better with the goal, but I'm not going to hammer him like some people have. Kai Havertz was sort of in and out of the game. He sort of laboured in the game, but I think it's because he's playing wide right of the 4-2-3-1 formation. He couldn't really get involved, and at times, because obviously the big fee, when he was dropping deep to try and show himself for the ball, he had someone marking him right behind him, so the option was never going to be there. So he was ignored for the most part by playing balls into him. It became more second half. We won't talk about when he just played the ball off the pitch, but it's just a nervy debut to be expected. He's a young kid who's come in for big money, a lot of expectation and pressure on him. He'll be fine. So he just had a game that wasn't exactly the best, wasn't a nightmare, it just wasn't the best. And that's Kai Havertz. Ruben Loftus-Cheek was getting hammered. It was disappointing to see that at times his head dropped where he didn't play a pass or he couldn't. It just didn't work for him, and you could see that his confidence looked from afar like being sort of quite shot. Really, I mean, he had an opportunity in the first half where we broke. Werner played the ball into him. Loftus-Cheek broke, and Werner, lightning quick, was the ball in, and he tried to play it through the defender's legs as he come out to challenge him. Defender blocked it. Loftus-Cheek had a game to forget. It wasn't completely awful. There was times where there were some nice touches, but it's, as I say, it's one that it's the positive is the fact that they've got minutes in their legs. They've only played one pre-season game. For them, they got minutes in their legs and they'll move on from it. But we need obviously to keep improving, and that's what we'll do over the course of the season. I don't see there's any drama. The defence, once Thiago Silva's in there and he organises and he talks, because that's one thing that we're missing, it'll be fine. Cesar Azpi will probably come back in at some point, left or right, depending on when Ben Chilwell's back. It's just we just need that experience in the back four. But you have to say that I actually thought Alonso did okay. Yeah, there were times he was being overrun by Lamptey. Lamptey is amazingly quick, and he gave Alonso and Mason Mount a bit of our time down our left-hand side, his right. Alonso was decent. I thought Christensen had a really good, strong, solid game, along with Kurt Zouma, and Reece James played well. Got a good goal, got an assist, played well. Middle of midfield, Jorginho kept the ball ticking over. At times we keep going side to side, which is not what we want. We want to try and play incisive, quick passing. But the way Brighton lined up with their 3 centre-backs and their 5 across the middle hampered that, because they were closing down the spaces, as I was saying earlier, with Kai Havertz dropping in to pick the ball up with somebody man marking him. So it's just one of those things, as I say. Jorginho, he looked a bit blowy when he lost the ball. Pace wasn't there to get back. N'Golo Conte, outstanding once again. Always gives you at least a 7.5 to 8 every game. And yesterday, you have to say he was an 8.5. Those two in the middle of midfield at times were a little bit overrun. We were reliant on Havertz and Mount getting back. And another thing I want to mention on Havertz before I forgot, there was a time in the second half, he lost the ball in their final third. He tracked back 80 yards, got back in and intercepted the ball right on the edge of our box. Tracking back, cleared the ball away and got a round of applause from his goalkeeper and from the players around him. And I thought that was impressive. That shows desire and hunger to do the right thing. He's known for what he can do with the ball at his feet and what he can create and score. But to have that hunger and desire to get back 80 yards to make the challenge, fair play, Mr. Havertz. As I say, he didn't have the best games, but not the worst. Mason Mount was busy, had a running battle with Tariq Lamptey. At times, he got the better of him, and at times, Mason Mount got the better of him. But Mason Mount is always busy, will always give you 100%, and he played well. As I say, Loftus-Cheek we've already gone through. Timo Werner, outstanding up front. He's shown in glimpses the pace is there, pace to burn. Movement of the ball is absolutely outstanding. And he spoke after the game of enjoying the fact it was fun because he had a lot of space to play in. It was noticeable that he dropped deep at times and would come to like a left wing or right wing position to pick the ball up, look for a ball inside and then go and try and get that 1-2 going. and that was good to see. Ross Barkley came on as a sub and did really well. I have to say he impressed me and made a good claim to start next week ahead of Loftus-Cheek based on that performance. Aspi come on late for Jorginho, who looked like he picked up a knock and went off. And Reece James slotted into the middle of midfield. Callum Hudson-Odoi came on for Kai Havertz. Couldn't really get involved that much in the game, but when he is on the pitch, I want to see him drive and take these people on much more and play more of a significant role for longer periods in games. Obviously, yesterday it was difficult because he come on late, but the most important thing is we got the 3 points. In a game where last season we probably dropped points, we got 3 points. If we were offered that before the game started, it's a 3-1 away win to start the season, we'd have taken it. Not going to sit here and complain about the goal we conceded. I'm not going to sit and dig Loftus-Cheek out or the likes of Kai Havertz or anybody else. We've only been together for 4 days. Let's have some perspective. So we've got a whole week to prepare for Liverpool. Let's be positive. Let's get behind Frank and the team. This is a season where you're going to see constant growth and improvement, and hopefully confidence levels go up and up and up as the season progresses. Don't judge people too early. Just focus on the 3 points. And we go again on Sunday against Liverpool at home. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like the video, smash the like button for me. Then subscribe to the channel, but make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss when my videos come out, which is pretty much daily. Some weekends there's a video on the Saturday or maybe not. It just depends on how things are going. But I really appreciate all your support so far. There'll be a video out later today with the latest Chelsea news and transfer news update this evening as usual at 7. Stay tuned for that. But for now, have a good Tuesday.